Yeah, it's been a crazy road that we've been on. It's been a little different than it has been in the past. Our training's been the same, but we've been breaking up into smaller groups, limited training partners. I know Marissa's only wrestled really Dalia Garbe for the past couple months doing that, and we've been still trained doing it, but it's been a little bit lighter, a little bit different. I think it's going to be good for us going into a competition because we haven't been beating each other up for the past 8 weeks like where we normally would, and we're having competitions getting ready. So on the flip side, I think it's exciting that we get to go and compete. It's fun. It's the junior and U23 nationals. Normally this is a world team qualifier for those age groups, and with the UWW canceling junior worlds and U23 worlds, it's just a chance for us to get out and compete this first semester, kind of get our feet wet and get us ready for the collegiate season that we have planned for January.
And then some of us got to watch the Intersport a couple weeks ago, and kind of the theme of that, me and Chris were talking about. Kind of the theme of that was how old those freshmen were. How has that been having that young group in the room?
This is year 2 of, if you will, a full recruiting group, and each year I think the freshmen have really come in and done a great job. Seeing Haley Ward really kind of wrestled really well against a returning All-American Genesis Martinez. Was fantastic. And even I know Marissa, we talked about it almost immediately after the match when she wrestled Nanan. And, Nanan, I think, put up the scoreboard was not indicative of the fight that Nanan put up with Marissa. And Marissa, I would hands down say, is one of the best 123-pound girls in the nation. And even, nationally at the senior level as well. So to have that freshman, and then you have Tristan, Isabeau at the upper weights that are immediately impactful for us in the rankings, and, where we didn't win matches at 170, 191 last year. Anything in the past 2 years, those two weight classes, I think we've won 4 matches out of 20, 30 matches individually in dual meets. So to have those two come in and be, immediate point scorers for us is going to be a huge thing.
Questions?
So Marissa, with the success and all the experience you got last year, what are you kind of looking for this weekend and then into whenever this crazy season begins?
Well, I'm thankful for one to even just be able to wrestle. That's like we didn't know if we were going to be able to wrestle like a week ago. So for me, I'm just thankful to be able to wrestle and just go out there and have fun. I haven't wrestled in a tournament since like March, and most people haven't since March. I think it'll be fun to get back out there again and just wrestle and let it all fly. Like, not think too much about who I'm wrestling, just go out there, wrestle, and work on what I've been working on in this downtime.
So with all this, the first thing people say, well, you can't have close contact. Well, you can't wrestle in a pandemic. What all changes are going on with the sport to combat all this?
I think it's always.
Don't breathe on anybody?
I probably have a isolated opinion, maybe not in the wrestling community, but in the community as general. Wrestling's always been high risk for communicable skin diseases. We compete in the peak of flu season all the time. That doesn't mean we're immune to anything by any means, and I don't want people to think like I'm like that. It's just we're pretty well aware of our own hygiene. We're well aware of that type of thing and how things transmit. I mean, doesn't mean it can't happen to us, but I think we're a little bit keener of keeping our hands clean, not touching our face. I hear of some universities and other schools where they have to wear a mask while they're wrestling, and I'm like, what does that even do? Like, you're still touching each other. So ultimately, I think it's just been a matter of just changing things up a little bit in the sense of who you're touching, how many people you're touching in practice. Ultimately, I'm just thankful that we're at a university that had a game plan from the beginning and said, hey, we're going to make the decision to do athletics. And they've stuck by that game plan. And yeah, we've had some some inconveniences, but that's some of the things that you have to have in order to be able to do things. And I think we've had that opportunity and we're taking full grasp of it. And yeah, it's different. It may not be exactly perfect, but being able to have that opportunity, and the girls have been fully on board and understanding of it, and they know that they're getting an opportunity that some other people aren't right now.
With the kind of starting off really with a national competition, what does that kind of help later on for a duel? I mean, you're gonna see elite wrestlers this week right off the bat.
I think it's exciting because we all haven't like wrestled in a long time, so I feel like we're just gonna go out there and compete. It doesn't matter who's in front of you. It's just compete your best and not necessarily worry about like your opponents and who they are, how they're ranked, and things like that. Just kind of wrestle your best match, and eventually that'll translate over to like the duels or the upcoming tournaments we're gonna have and things like that. It'll translate just because, let's say this tournament doesn't go exactly how you wanted it to. Okay, well, what did you do wrong? What can you fix by the time it matters? Because this matters, but like nationals is also very important and things like that. So you can make the adjustments you need. And let's say you do well, what's working? What do you need to keep working on to make that even better?
For a player, I know obviously you want to practice hard, but putting on that extra 100% meet ready like mentality, what do you need to do, and how hard is that, and how have you been like getting ready to do that, I guess?
So for me, it's kind of like I've been fortunate enough to be able to train a little bit throughout the summer. Training for me has looked more like working on the little things instead of working super hard to the point where it's like, okay, I need to be peaking here. Now it's kind of just making minor adjustments before a tournament and working on the things I already have in my skill set.
And from a coaching perspective, what have you been doing to get everybody ready? Because it's probably been a longer off season for you too than normal.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is kind of like Marissa said, everybody's had different ways to train from March until now. You know, we don't go into this thinking it's a national tournament. Oh my gosh, and I've been saying this for 3 years. I know Patty's probably heard me say it all the time. It's no big deal. It's the next thing for us. I don't put it up on this pedestal of like, oh my gosh, it's World Team Trials, and if you win, you make a World Team. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about going out and performing at our best, reminding the girls that, you know, they have the skill sets available to them. They all are individually special. They all have something unique that they bring to the table, and that's when it gets to shine here at this opportunity. It's not about winning and losing. It's about performing at your best and getting that opportunity. You know, that's how we've kind of approached it, and I really just remind the girls what they're good at, not what they're bad at. We highlight our strengths, not highlight our weaknesses. And kind of to answer Patty's question too, you know, if we run into somebody who's really good, it's a great opportunity for us to go back to the drawing board, what worked, what didn't work, and take those notes and get ready for our competitions in January.
All right, question of the week.
All right.
What sport do you like to play or watch that is other than yourself, other than yours that you're competing here?
Oh man.
Mine's biased, probably judo, just because I used to do judo.
That's too close to
That's
wrestling.
like saying wrestling.
Okay. Gymnastics.
Okay.
Okay,
I love
gymnastics, man. I used to be a really big hockey fan until they went on strike, and then came back for like a year, and then went on strike again. But I'm a huge Angels baseball fan, so I can sit at Angel Stadium and watch baseball, 9 innings plus more, doubleheader. I love watching baseball. That's probably my favorite one.